Hey everyone, my name is Rudy and we bought a house. And in today's video, I'm gonna take you with me on the journey of rebuilding our actual new house in Prehistoric Kingdom. I'm gonna talk about why in Prehistoric Kingdom in a second, but I'm actually going to take you with me with the build because this is going to be actually our planning tool for the entire thing. So let's get started. We have bought this house just a couple of weeks ago, and it's been in negotiations for over half a year. I wanted to talk about that way earlier with you guys, but there were so many things that needed to be clarified, first of all, because of the situation we are all living in right now here in Europe. And so this was absolutely mandatory to be clarified beforehand. But now, as everything is pretty much secured, I can start talking about this and also start doing this project because, with all the stuff I learned in the past, I became a little bit more security, driven, so that I didn't do anything before the signature was under the notary contract. And now it is, and so we can start doing this. So what you're seeing on screen is the build of our actual house. And this is actually a one-by-one recreation. It's not like just somewhat okay. It's nearly the perfect kind of layout of the house. And as you can see, I was first of all trying to create myself a little ruler, so to say, because in Prehistoric Kingdom we don't yet have the chance to implement billboards or something. But since we do have a grid and all these kind of things that we can utilize, it was pretty much easy for me to build one, even though it just kind of required a lot of pieces. But I needed to opt for a game that offered me the maximum freedom in terms of scaling as well as building. So I wanted to do this in Planet Zoo initially because I still feel like the engine and the graphics are a little bit more nice and stuff, and also I'm a bit more used to the game. However, I just tried this for like an hour or so, and I figured, okay, I just can't really go that small. As we all know, the pieces in Planet Zoo are a little bit, over the top in terms of size. And so I ended up doing this here in this wonderful game, Prehistoric Kingdom. And the reason why is quite obvious. There is a scaling tool. Now, what is going to happen in the next coming month, I should say? This is a project which is going on for a couple of months because we are only moving in January of next year. So it's going to be a whole lot of planning involved, not only with this build in general, but also with YouTube and how I'm going to make the move. And I'm also obviously going to show you and plan basically the streaming room with you together. It's going to be very exciting. So there are a lot of things that need to be done, but the first step is now to bring this build in and make sure that I have a certain feeling for the house and stuff. And yes, we do have to renovate quite a lot. It's not like as crazy as last time with our flat over here. And for those who are wondering, yes, we are actually selling our current flat because obviously we can't afford to have two houses, or like two real estates on our bank account. That's just not working. And it's also a bit insecure in these times. Like, we could have, given that out for rent, and potentially the rent would have paid our loan and stuff, but that would have been very much on the edge, and there's no need for that, so we didn't do that. And obviously one of the core reasons why we decided to go into a bigger house is that we now have a huge garden, and we have a lot of space for the little one, and who knows if the little one stays alone forever. You never know. And so we wanted to be prepared, and I think this is all like the normal reasons that you guys potentially would have thought so anyways. But the biggest reason of all is that we want to become even more self-sustainable. And in our current situation, living in here, we have wonderful neighbors, so it's really, don't get me wrong, it's a super nice situation living here. But since we're living in a flat and we do share the overall house with a couple other owners, it is always kind of negotiations what we do. So you never have the freedom of doing what you actually want to do. And so we needed to have something in which we have the full control of what we do. And so exactly this is going to happen. But I'm going to talk you through all these things in the next episode. So I think the next episode is gonna start with the energy or the kitchen. I'm not sure which one we are going to start with first, but it's gonna be project by project. And I did do this with the old flat as well, but I did do this in Blender. Now the problem with Blender is I haven't used Blender for over 2.5 years or so. I think the last time I used this was effectively when I was building for the Theme Maker's Toolkit, and that was actually, again, the same time as we moved in this house. So I couldn't even say it became rusty. I basically have no idea how to do stuff. And also Blender has been updated so often in the meantime that, you know, it's all is so new. The big move to 2.8 back then has happened now, and I'm used to the old versions, the 2.79 and lower. And so, yeah, a couple of things were in the way to do this in this game, or in this program. And so I ended up doing this in Prehistoric Kingdom, which is obviously not delivering the same graphics quality and lighting and stuff as Blender would do, but it's, you know, it's enough to make the planning, because it's never going to be the tool that has to be 100% accurate in terms of size and stuff, because you will always have to, you know, get that measured from professionals. But to get a feeling if certain things work or not, and to get a feeling how much material you need and how much paint you need, and how the lighting could work out and blah blah blah. This is well enough in this game, and so this is why I decided to do this, and I'm very excited to see where this is going, especially because we will be able to share blueprints in a bit, and I'm not sure exactly how they will pull that off and how many pieces and stuff like that, but it's going to be interesting. I might actually do a little challenge to get you guys to design my streaming room. That's going to be very funny, I guess, indeed. Let's see what kind of results we'll get out of this. I can imagine doing that for Christmas time or so, because that's just like a couple weeks before we actually move. But yeah, I'm very excited. Also, you guys can put all of your questions down below regarding this project. And the good bit about this project is I'm not feeling obliged to, I don't know, have many views or whatever, because I'm producing these videos as kind of a second element to what I'm doing anyways, because I will need to build all of this for our planning and for the sake of having this at hand for us. So I'm going to plan the kitchen before we go to the kitchen store, and I'm going to show this to the guy in the kitchen store, and then he can pull off his stuff, because we've done that last time and made things so much easier, because, you know, otherwise they're just starting to sell you stuff that you don't even want to, and so you can show them what you want, and they can just tell me if it's possible or not, and what it costs, and if it's possible or not. You know, that's the easy thing. And the same goes with all the materials and stuff. It's so much easier when you go to a store and you show them exactly what you have, and it's so much easier to show it to them from all possible angles, because otherwise you need to do like a million photos. And another big problem is obviously that the house we are buying currently is in use. You know, the current owners will only move out at the end of the year, so it's not like we can go there and the whole thing is empty and you can measure everything. It's like you have to make a couple of appointments, and then that's it. You know, you don't have the chance to basically just plan everything ahead, and all these things together just made this the perfect project for now, and I'm really excited. And also, I must say, the longer I build in Prehistoric Kingdom again, I have to give the guys a lot of credit, because it feels so much more stable now. It's been over 2 or 3 even, or maybe even 4 months that I've played this game the last time, and it became so much better. It's like I don't have a real reason for what. It's like a feeling thing. Imagine we have Planet Zoo, and Planet Zoo is already a successor of Planet Coaster. So Frontier has had a long time to perfect the building system, and it feels really solid, and you know, it feels really good. And I can't even put it in words, but at the beginning of Prehistoric Kingdom, of course the tools are super powerful, but it just didn't feel as reliable in a way, a little bit funky, and the clicking wasn't always perfect, and they've improved that dramatically. It still isn't at that level that, you know, my Planet Zoo experience is, but you know, I think it's unfair to compare, because there are like so many years in between of knowledge renovation stuff that Frontier put into that. But I have to say, the guys at Creativo have really improved the core building system, and it's so much more reliable and good that it was really not that hard to build. And after a couple of minutes, I was back in the flow, and I was able to do so. And they dramatically improved the performance as well, especially for many pieces. I've read that in the dev diaries that they did do so, but as you know, whenever devs say something, most likely when we come in as crazy players and, you know, push the limits, it's most likely what they can't assume we would do. But in this case, the performance is really good, even though I'm using a lot of pieces. One thing though I have to admit is building without the multi-select tool is a pain still. So Creativo, if you're watching, please, next fix, box select. I can't. It's just, oh boy, I just had to make so many single builds in terms of having always, like, you know, one building at a time that I can just choose that building, select everything, repaint and stuff, because, you know, with a house it's super important to be able to quickly just jump in, change the color of the frame and all these kind of things, in order to, you know, just be a bit quicker in the building process. But yeah, you also have seen a huge cut over here. I have cut out when I made the shingles for the wall over here, because oh my god, it has been such a pain. I think the overall build took like about 10 hours for now, and I cut out about 4 to 5 hours, and these 4 to 5 hours were mostly the bricks to the outside and these shingles, as you can see over here, these kind of, I don't know what that is, it's super ugly. But this is something we are going to keep for the moment, but it's going to be changed later in the, maybe next or the year after, when there's a couple of euros left to do that. But yeah, this is what we do, and you can see I'm really trying to be as accurate as possible, trying to make everything go in hand and go together over here. I think it's looking really good at this point. I have not expected it to be looking that good. I'm very positively surprised by the quality that I could pull off with this build, and as you can see with the comparison image from the thumbnail, and I will put one comparison at the end as well. It's really looking fantastic, I guess, in that way that it really gives the feeling of what I wanted to achieve with it, and it's really damn good. I have not expected it to be that good. You know, there are a couple of things I still have to do, which goes especially into the interior and making the walls the way they look, and initially I thought I'm gonna build first of all the old building to have the comparison, but since I have photos from everywhere, I think the photos are well enough, and then I'm going to show you the kind of concept, and then later on, when hopefully everything is done, I'm going to show you the real picture, so we have the whole story from old to planning to new, because it would just like take way too much to, you know, rebuild all the old furniture and stuff, because that just like it for what, you know, there's no reason, because we'll never use that. It's actually not ours, and it doesn't make any sense to just recreate something that I have photos of. It doesn't make any sense. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to plan the building ahead. I'm always going to show you photos from the actual room we are working in, and that's basically what we do. But yeah, that should be it from my talking so far. I hope you guys enjoyed this wonderful time-lapse so far, and you enjoyed the idea. So please let me know in the comments down below if you want to see more of this project. What are you interested in? Obviously I'm not going to give away the address and stuff, but I just wanted to, you know, let you guys take part, and I think it's the easiest way to do that with you know, building in a game, because that's what we do on the channel anyway. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you like it, and now I'm going to put the comparison images in, and that's been it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. I would be so happy if you guys would consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already, and then I talk to you in the next one.